taking off her veil, turned around with a shudder. Between us? Yes, between you and him. One does not leave one's entire fortune to a woman unless... She trembled and could scarcely take out the pins which fastened the transparent tissue. Then she stammered in an agitated manner. "You are mad. You did not think he would leave you anything." Georges replied, emphasizing each word. "Yes, he could have left me something. Me, your husband, his friend. But not you, my wife and his friend. The distinction is material in the eyes of the world." Madeleine gazed at him fixedly. "It seems to me that the world would have considered a legacy from him to you very strange." "Why?" "Because..." She hesitated, then continued. "Because you are my husband. Because you were not well acquainted. Because I have been his friend so long. Because his first will, made during Forestier's lifetime, was already in my favor." Georges began to pace to and fro. He finally said, "You cannot accept that." She answered indifferently, "Very well. It is not necessary then to wait until Saturday. You can inform Monsieur Lamanère at once." He paused before her, and they gazed into one another's eyes as if by that mute and ardent interrogation they were trying to examine each other's consciences. In a low voice he murmured, "Come, confess your relations." She shrugged her shoulders. "You are absurd. Baudrec was very fond of me, very, but there was nothing more, never." He stamped his foot. "You lie. It is not possible." She replied calmly, "It is so, nevertheless." He resumed his pacing to and fro. Then pausing again, he said, "Explain to me then why he left all his fortune to you." She did so with a nonchalant air. "It is very simple. As you said just now, we were his only friends, or rather I was his only friend, for he knew me when a child. My mother was a governess in his father's house. He came here continually, and as he had no legal heirs, he selected me. It is possible that he even loved me a little, but what woman has never been loved thus? He brought me flowers every Monday. You were never surprised at that, and he never brought you any. Today he leaves me his fortune for the same reason, because he had no one else to leave it to. It would, on the other hand, have been extremely surprising if he had left it to you. Why? What are you to him?" She spoke so naturally and so calmly that Georges hesitated before replying. "It makes no difference. We cannot accept that bequest under those conditions. Everyone would talk about it and laugh at me. My fellow journalists are already too much disposed to be jealous of me and to attack me. I have to be especially careful of my honor and my reputation. I cannot permit my wife to accept a legacy of that kind from a man whom rumor has already assigned to her as her lover. Forestier might perhaps have tolerated that, but I shall not." She replied gently, "Very well, my dear, we will not take it. It will be $1 million less in our pockets, that is all." Georges paced the room and uttered his thoughts aloud, thus speaking to his wife without addressing her. Yes, 1,000,000, so much the worse. He did not think when making his will what a breach of etiquette he was committing. He did not realize in what a false, ridiculous position he was placing me. He should have left half of it to me, that would have made matters right. He seated himself, crossed his legs, and began to twist the ends of his moustache, as was his custom when annoyed, uneasy, or pondering over a weighty question. Madeleine took up a piece of embroidery upon which she worked occasionally, and said, "I have nothing to say. You must decide." It was some time before he replied. Then he said hesitatingly, "The world would never understand how it was that Vaudrec constituted you his sole heiress, and that I allowed it. To accept that legacy would be to avow guilty relations on your part, and an infamous lack of self-respect on mine. Do you know how the acceptance of it might be interpreted? We should have to find some adroit means of palliating it. We should have to give people to suppose, for instance, that he divided his fortune between us, giving half to you and half to me." She said, "I do not see how that can be done, since there is a formal will." He replied, "Oh, that is very simple. We have no children. You can